Hey, my name is John Kevin, and today we're going to be talking to you beginners who are new to weight training. We're going to give you a few general tips on how you can get started. So, let's take it you just got into the gym for the first time, you got your membership and everything, and you enter, and the space looks absolutely daunting. You got big guys in the gym, you got 1,000 machines, you got big plates, you got the squat rack, you got all sorts of things, and you don't really understand what's going on. So, this is how you go from being an absolute beginner to someone who knows their shit. You just gotta understand a few basics first. So, first thing is you will want to learn the proper form and technique for performing, most importantly, the major compound movements, which are the squat, the bench, and the deadlift, and then other movements such as rows and curls and the works, which are more isolation type but still could be compound movements. You want to learn the form so that it becomes a part of your muscle memory, and you really need to focus on learning how to move the weights before you start focusing on how much weight you're moving, because like I said, it trains your muscle memory and it will definitely help you prevent injury further down the line. Um, how frequently should you be training? What should your training split look like? For a beginner, it's generally advised that you shouldn't spend too much time in the gym anyway. So I reckon 3 to 4 hours a week with about 45 minutes to an hour max is enough. And two general splits that I think are great for a beginner are the full body split, which you could perform for a frequency of 3 days with, say, a day in between each. So, like you train a full body on Monday, full body on Wednesday, and full body on Friday, and you have the weekend off, then you reset the next week. And I think it's particularly effective because you don't need to do a lot of work in order to, one, learn the form, and two, start gaining some muscle mass or seeing some results in that regard. Uh, the second that I would, the second split that I would advise you follow is a upper lower body split. So you train full upper body, then you train your legs, and you could do this for a frequency of about 4 times a week if, say, the full body split 3 times a week is not very appealing, or you feel like you have a little more time or flexibility. You could uh, have say upper body on Monday, lower body on Wednesday, upper body on Friday, lower body on Sunday, or something along the lines. Just find what works for you, a split that is good and works for you. Because at the end of it all, as a beginner, like I said, you want to focus on learning the basics, learning the form, and that will enable you to progress into later on an intermediate lifter where you could start training with a different split and focusing more on certain muscle groups that you want to develop over a shorter period of time, and just the works. Um, Another thing I would think is very important is you would like to get a trainer. This is because they're likely to be someone with more experience and they can guide you, one, in learning the form and everything, and keep you from making some mistakes that beginners usually make and perhaps they made in their journey. Uh, and if you can't get a trainer, you could look for someone with good training experience, perhaps in your gym, someone that's friendly as well, or even a friend who's been training for a longer period of time. They're likely to be inclined to help you. Uh, but something you gotta be very careful about is where you get your information and even whom you get it from. Because, sad to say, not all trainers will give you correct information or information that is right for you. And even though your friend may mean well, they may not know what works best for you. So that's something that you also have to figure out along the way. You learn your body as you move along, so it's not something to be too stressed about, but that's why you start from the bottom. Uh, I would advise YouTube, but you've got to be watching a few trusty sources. Like I would advise if you're learning, say, the basics of the bench, deadlift, squat, a few sources I would recommend. I would recommend Athlean-X, Bradley Martin, Matt Ogus. These are some of the people that I learned from when I was starting out, and it gave me a lot of information. And later on, you can start diving deeper and deeper into the information, and you will start learning more intricate details about both training and your body's response to training. Another great source, especially for scientific related stuff, would be Jeff Nippard. I think I'll leave all these links to the people that I'm mentioning down below. So don't worry about that. Then, of course, you want to learn the names of the equipment. Oh, by the way, I'm looking at my notes here. I came prepared. So you want to learn the names of equipment, the exercises, and the muscle groups, so that in case anyone is talking to you about something, you're not absolutely clueless, and just for general knowledge, which is important as you move along. This is a tip that is more personalized. It's more to my preference, but I would definitely advise for everyone is to avoid lifting aids for as long as possible. For example, when I started out, I didn't use gloves, I didn't use a belt, I didn't use the shoulder pad that people usually use for the squats and everything. And I mean, my hands look nasty. Like, yeah, that's from doing deadlifts and shrugs. But it's made my grip a lot better. Like, for example, I've done deadlifts of 160 kilo for free. That's about 352 pounds for all you imperialists. So I've been able to do all that without straps, without a belt, and most importantly, without any injury. So the longer you avoid lifting aids, the better your body adapts to lifting the weight without the lifting aids, so that when you're sure you're about to hit your limits in terms of grip strength or whatever, but you know you can still push yourself forward, you can then incorporate the lifting aids, and you'll see much better results then. And last thing I would say is do not expect quick results. And you may have heard this a lot, but it's definitely true. It's one of those cliches, but good things take time. So do not expect to see results in a week or 2 weeks, or to go looking at yourself in the mirror or looking at a scale every single day in order to measure how much progress you're making. Give it a few months at the very least, and believe me when I tell you, you'll see much better results when you compare month 1 versus month 4, 5, 6 versus comparing week 1 and week 3. I mean, you may still see some slight results, but it's definitely better to keep an eye on the long game and the bigger picture. So don't expect quick results. It simply won't happen. I reckon if there's anything I have left out, I will cover it in a future video. But one thing I would like to say as well is that I will be making lifting guides or videos that guide on certain aspects, such as performing certain lifts or warm-ups and stretches, very soon. So you will want to stay tuned for that. Other than that, I hope I've enlightened you, and I've helped you into transitioning. Wow. And I've helped you transition into weight training. So if you do find this video useful, just leave a like down below. Share your thoughts if you have any questions. just let me know. I will respond to all of them. Uh, Other than that, just stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, post, wow, subscribe to the channel, post notifications, the works. I mean, you've heard it all before, but I intend on providing value to everyone. So, with that, I'll leave you with this. Remember, if you want the best out of life, you've got to get down and get your hands dirty. So, cheers.